Hi, my name is Josue Ramos, and I am one of the editors of the Steampunk Writers Around the World anthology, Volume 1, published by Luna Press Publishing, and edited by me from Spain and Pablo César Ramírez from Mexico. This anthology is the product of the Steampunk Hands Around the World project. It's a virtual steampunk, multicultural, and global meeting created by Kevin Stale from the United States, a good friend of mine, and also known as Airship Ambassador. The idea behind that virtual meeting, was to know more about steampunk, to know about multicultural steampunk, and to know more about steampunk people from the other sides of the world, the other places of the world. My particular experience, it was a few years ago, and this was me, so things changed a lot since that. And my vision of steampunk was different as the vision of steampunk that I have today, because of the multicultural steampunk vision of that meeting. I knew about steampunk from the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, and I knew about, in that year, I knew about steampunk from India, China, Japan, even Russia, South Africa, and it was amazing because I knew about new ways to write steampunk. That's the point of Steampunk Writer Around the World. We joined 11 authors from 11 countries, from 11 cultures, and with their particular visions of what the 19th century was, how the 19th century could be, and how the 19th century should be. For example, the vision of the 19th century history that I have in Spain, that Spain has, could be different than the vision of it's different of the vision of the 19th century history in Cuba or Filipinas or Puerto Rico. And the vision of the 19th century history of United Kingdom, the history of the 19th century in the United Kingdom is very different of the history of the 19th century in China or India. That's the point of Steampunk Writers Around the World. So we join 11 authors from 11 different countries that in the 19th century were empires, were countries, and were colonies. And I love a lot. I love the vision of the short tales of countries that in that time were colonies. The vision of the colonies in the 19th century is very interesting, and is very different of the short tales of the classical steampunk from United States, United Kingdom, Spain. And I think this is the best point, the most important point of this anthology, that visions of people that in that time were slaves, were colonies, and sometimes we don't stop to think that they were people. They had their own culture. They had their own land, and the empires in that years, in that century, in that era, destroy a lot of that culture. In some places, even destroy entirely the culture, the land, and even the language of the particular cultures and the identity of that people. So Steampunk Writers Around the World is it's a way to remember that people, and a way to remember multicultural steampunk and the multicultural aspects of our world, of our planet. We want to think about it, to remember it, and not to forget that aspects of the 19th century. that the 19th century was not just steam, it was not just empires. The 19th century and steampunk, the steampunk vision of 19th century has a component of punk. We wanted to think about the punk part of steampunk and to remember dark countries and to remember the dark cultures. So steampunk writers around the world as a book, as a project, is a multicultural, global vision of that history and of that century. I am very glad and very proud of that aspect of this book. So this is steampunk writers around the world. We join 11 authors from 11 different countries. I am from Spain, and there are no other author from Spain in this book. And Paulo is from Mexico, and there are no other author from Mexico. And we have 11 authors and 11 countries and 11 cultures and 11 different identities. I am very proud of that aspect of this book. We created this book as a bilingual anthology, half in Spanish, half in English, and we encourage you to read, if it's possible to you, to read the entire book, the Spanish part and the English part, or maybe just the half part of the book in the language that you can read. In my particular experience, in my particular case, sorry for my English. I am from Spain. I wrote a short tale in Spanish. I have the opportunity to find a translator for my short tale, but my English is so bad, and I'm sorry of my Spanish English, my Spanglish, and I'm sorry for that. But I wanted to tell you how steampunk writers around the world was born, and how grows into what is now a physical book, an anthology that we are very proud. So we encourage you to know more about steampunk writers around the world, about the project Steampunk Hands around the world, about us as authors, and of course, if you want to tell us something, if you want to know more about multicultural steampunk, if you want to know more about the project, and if you read steampunk writers around the world, and if you want to tell us something of the book, of the stories, and to tell us what do you think about the book, we encourage you to contact us in the website, on the email of Luna Press, and if you want, in Facebook, Twitter, email, or personal websites or blogs. If you want to contact with me, I will be very happy to talk to you and to tell you more about the project. Or maybe if you want to talk with the other authors, they will be very happy to talk to you about it. And of course, if you are a writer, keep in mind that this is the volume 1, and we are steampunks. We know about how we know more how it was the 19th century, and how the 19th century could be or should be. But maybe this means that we can control to how will be the future of the steampunk writers around the world project. So if you are interested on it as a writer, as a reader, as a steampunk, we encourage you to read steampunk writers around the world, to enjoy the short tales and these different visions of steampunk, and the multicultural steampunk, and the visions of how the 19th century was and how it could be. So that's all for my part. I am very glad and very happy with this book. It will be released in August, but you can purchase it from now in the website of Luna Press Publishing. And we are waiting for you to read the book and to tell us if you like it, if you like the idea, if you like multicultural steampunk. We encourage you to know more about multicultural steampunk and to know more about the history of that colonies and that countries and the people in that era, in that period, were slaves in colonies, and to know more about real history, about how things was, how history was, and to think about how could be and how should be, how should be the world. That's the idea. That's the purpose behind steampunk writers around the world, and that's all. We encourage you to read the book, to know more about it, and thanks for watching this video, and thanks for know more about our particular visions of steampunk.